Oh, we got surrounded by that terrible swamp. But I'm sure there's gonna be a possible way we can able to drain this thing up. But anyway, hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only Tiano here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3 for the Game Boy. So last time we've basically just managed to accomplish the SST Cup. No, we did have a really good run on that particular world, despite I accidentally died just only once in Journey Forms of course number 26, because I'm gonna blame that jump button, mind you. So today, we're about to begin the forms of the next world in this game, which appears to be Parsley Woods. And to begin with, we're about to be hit on to level 31, basically. Well, course 31, as far as I like to say. Now, as far as you guys should know, is the fact that since we're going to be stuck in this world for quite some time, and because of that, you know what I mean what I'm going to talk about here? Basically, we can't get out of this world unless if we completed 2 stages. So, because of that though, the first stage right here, basically, it's going to be filled to the brim with those spike balls that we do need to dodge. And also, to top it off, you remember the forms of that ghost-looking enemies that we haven't seen them since, I would say, in Mount Teapot, basically. So here they are now again, but except now they appeared in just for this level, but it wasn't until whenever we get on to the later progressioning for this world. Basically, we're not going to see them until specifically by the end of the world. So, but either way though, and this is where the difficulty starts to get a little bit increased, which that definitely seems the case because of, you know what I mean, when it comes to certain future worlds, gets a bit tough, but either way though, I'm sure I will able to actually get accustomed to it. So either way though, yeah, let's go ahead and get our garlic right here for obtaining a power-up and everything else like this. So, oh jeez Louise, that was close. And yeah, obviously today's day is of course the, I would say today is the 23rd today in the February in 2021. So, not much else to talk about. Well, there's only one thing I should probably point out about the fact that I'm sure that some Toy Sales has already mentioned about this ever since in Journey Forms of, well, let's just say in the forms of in Knight's Journey of Dreams Let's Play. Unfortunately though, there's only one little downside when it comes to the forms of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Well, at least if you're able to actually play the game on tabletop mode or handheld mode, depending on what playstyle you're going to be able to actually just to go to. Actually, I'll get to more details about this later because, well, we can't do anything down there because if we go all the way down to the actual, the bottom portion of that specific hole, this will lead us to a death into a bottomless pit. So we can't deal with that specific points just yet. But on the other hand, we can able to hit on to the next level, which is of course course number 32, and we're going to be introduced into the returning obstacle ever since in well, Stove Canyon, which appears to be of course the trail ride. So either way though, and thankfully though, we don't need to worry about just trying to able to find 2 exits this time, so we just have to mainly go for 1 exit. Except the fact that, well, we'll talk more about that as soon as we're able to actually just to continue progressioning for this level, so, but I digress. Oh jeez, those birds are back again, ever since in SST Cup. You know what I mean, when it comes to those enemies, these are my least favorite enemies of the whole game, because, jeez Louise, man, along with the birds, along with those moles that we've actually seen, these enemies can be annoying at times to dodge, especially when they're always about to get me, like, why they always go after me? But anyway, let's just go ahead and, keep on jumping and stuff like that. Well, except the fact that, well, luckily, if you manage to able to still keep your, Wing Wario power-up, you should be able to actually be just fine, because that way, you can able to actually just to avoid the bottomless pit down below, so as you can tell, that I've seemed to manage to accomplish this level no problem. And of course, we actually come across into that exclamation mark switch. We haven't seen that ever since in, Mount Teapot, if I recall. So, but even then though, and what this does is that this actually drains the entire swamp. And that way, we can now finally exit out the world. And you can able to actually go back into the previous worlds whenever you wish. Especially noticeable if you're actually missing out on certain treasures, then you can do that. So even then though, but that doesn't end off here though, because as soon as we're able to get on to, well, we're not going to go to the next level just yet, because we're about to be hitting back onto course number 31, and because of that though, with all the swamp waters being drained, so this means we can now able to explore the bottom portion of this level. So, and also to top it off, that, well, this level will contain a treasure. So, and as far as the actual world itself is concerned, well, in regardless of the forms of how many treasures they're able to got in this world, well, I'm pretty sure it contains like 2 treasures basically, so even then though, hopefully we'll find one in this level alongside with the forms of the 4th level in this world, which we're about to get that in a moment. But for now on though, let's try to go ahead and keep on destroying those mole-like enemies as soon as we possibly could by simply utilizing the key, which actually represents with the forms of a reference to a Keyblade from the Kingdom Hearts games. So, pretty awesome sauce, actually. So, either way, though. Yeah, let's get to the actual main point about the fact that... Actually, I'll get into more details about that in just a moment, because, obviously, I still have to concentrate on, just trying to able to actually... Not only just trying to keep a key at all times, but also not to get hit, because, again, if I do get hit by nearly at the end... I'm gonna have to able to find that specific power-up as I wanted to. So either way though, mainly with like garlic or you know, jet power-up, and especially noticeable with dragon hat on, or essentially just a ball. So either way though, that maybe seems the case, mind you. So anyway, let's go ahead and keep on bashing a lot of those blocks before we're able to proceed. Normally you can able to utilize the ladder if you want, but I'm gonna do my method by going all the way down. But oh jeez Louise, that was so close. But thankfully we can able to crouch and then throw it. Oh, Starman! That's the only power-up I do definitely need, regardless of the forms of trying to able to protect ourselves from those stupid mole enemies. But thankfully, we made it towards this point right here, fell off from down there because it's now safe down there, and that way we can open up the treasure room which contains the next treasure. And this treasure might be familiar to you because it looks like a Wario mask, which that sounds pretty awesome I have to say, even especially noticeable with how, usually relatively speaking, it does represent Wario's face, so pretty awesome. And since after all we've got 12 treasures now, so I think we've only got 3 more to go. And before you leave the level, I'll grind for some more coins if I wish I'd like to go for it. But it seems to be more specifically, we haven't got that much coins though. But that's fine, because even then though, we've almost at the 10,000 coins mark at the moment. So at least we've still got some time left before we get into the finale portion of this Let's Play. So either way though, we got about 9,380 coins total so far. So yeah, that's that. And now let's go ahead and move on to course number 33, where we start things off on the right side this time, which is a little bit strange because normally most 2D platformers usually starts off from left to right. You know, it's like you go from point A to point B in certain levels, whilst in this level, we're actually going to be going from point B to point A. So, meaning about the fact that it's kind of like a backwards level. So, yeah, it does remind me of something slightly similar to the forms of Yoshi's Crafted World or something like that, except, well, in Yoshi's Crafted World, that basically the entire stage has been flipped out. So, but either way, though, that maybe seems the case. So, and in this particular level, we're going to be riding on the train. So, even then though, because chances are, we need to keep up on the screen, because if you don't keep up on the screen, especially noticeable if you get crushed, then you have to start all over again, unless if you find a checkpoint. So, and then the actual train levels will become stable in the future of the Wario Land series. To be more specifically, there was one of them in, I would say, in Wario Land 2, and also there was one from Wario Land, the Shake Dimension, or in this case, Shake It, for those of you who lived in the North America and stuff like that. So, but either way though, I'm guessing if I'm conserving for that correctly. So, there's no point for me to gain that dragon power-up for me though, just because, although it does have some uses though, don't get me wrong, but it's just that I'm probably not going to use that for the sake of this stage, just because, well, personally, I just think that Winged Wario is actually a better use in my opinion, just because, well, you can able to actually avoid bottomless pits, or even in this case, you can able to actually be perfectly safe for yourself, so, ah, jeez Louise, those stupid birds are back. Ah, jeez Louise. So, yeah, about the forms of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, for I've heard about the forms of frame rate as well as, just, the actual quality of the actual two games in one. Well, usually 3D World is still pretty much perfect for the most part, mainly with, like, runs on 60 frames per second in, not only in docked, but also on portable mode, or even tabletop mode, so that's awesome. But, however though, for Bowser's Fury mode on the other hand though, this is entirely a different story. Because normally, if you expected to able to get yourselves likely the best frame rate that you can able to get, if you manage to play the game within, like, tabletop mode or handheld mode, but no, apparently though, in the forms of it, if you ever play Bowser's Fury on tabletop mode, you get yourselves 30 frames per second, which I don't understand why, because normally in Super Mario Odyssey, that runs very well in terms of handheld and tabletop mode, but actually I'll get into more on that later, because here we go on to course number 34. And I believe this level will contain the treasure, so hopefully we'll find that. And also, this level almost reminds me of one of those chapters in terms of Super Paper Mario, because in Super Paper Mario, we can essentially try to climb up the tree, which it feels very similar in concept. However though, the biggest differences between the two is that obviously this is on a Game Boy, and plus rather than just having the forms of that very cool, well, cool visual aesthetic variety, but it's just a normal, like, climbing up for the whole entire tree kind of scenario or something like that. But either way though, that's for discussion for another time. But either way though, let's go ahead and just keep on swimming. So just in case we can able to just climb up. Oh, hello there. We haven't seen those chicken enemies for a while, ever since in SST Cup. Even though, despite the fact that we haven't did that much to the chicken enemy, but apart from those side of things though, I think it's actually okay, so anyway, so let's go ahead and just, you know, keep a hold of that enemy right there, so just in case we can able to get ourselves a good shot in that specific basket on top of the chicken, or chicken's head, whatever you to be more precise with. So either way though, oh sweet, another Jet Wario power-up. I think I might as well hold that for now on though, until when it still shows up, but for now we'll just try to go ahead and avoid, not only for those water bombs, but also, oh god, these little stupid seahorse looking enemies are back, ever since in Mount Teapot. Oh jeez, we're gonna have to deal with these guys, aren't we? But luckily though, if we're able to grab the key, and I believe the key was actually nearly at the end of the level, so yeah, I think this is gonna be, yeah, the key was in here. So either way though, now let's go ahead and go back and go to the opposite side, to be more specifically the right side, and hopefully we'll able to find a treasure room. So either way though, let's just let this see, okay, that'll work. Thank you, Key, for able to deal that enemy for me for this point, so I appreciate it. So anyways, let's go and keep on climbing up, or jumping up, and find this little door over there, and then just keep on climbing up on the ladder, and eventually, you'll find the treasure room. So, yeah, pretty awesome. And from here, we get ourselves apparently a baseball glove. Or to be more specifically, like a baseball pitching glove, which sounds a bit strange in terms of some of these treasures that usually contains inside, but oh no, I'll take it. So either way though, we'll go ahead and finish off the level now. In fact, the finishing conclusion of the level is actually kind of easy if you manage to able to utilize Jet Wario, because if you manage to able to boost yourself all the way to the left, and that way you can finish the level as usual. So yeah, that's a quicker way to finish the level from here. I was normally gonna do the bonus game, but there's no point for that. But, however though, I'm also able to do that at some point during, by the end of this world. So, hopefully I might as well just do that. So, anyways, let's move on to the next level in, Parsley Woods. That what appears to be course number 35, and I think this level is very similar to course number 33, except now the fact that we're actually now going from point A to point B, likely due to the forms of how the fact that we start the level off with on the left portion of the level, and then finish it all the way to the right. So yeah, to be more expected by this point. So it's very similar to course number 33 for sure, except with you know, we're actually going, well, the exact, well, left to right. I have no idea. It's hard to explain about this sometimes because, generally speaking, I haven't been sleeping for quite a few days or so. But either way, though, I did sleep quite fine as it is. So, but thankfully, I did manage to able to drink coffee though, so that way I can able to wake myself up a bit. So, but I digress. So, yeah, normally, if you ever try to able to experience Bowser's Fury mode in Super Mario 3D World on the Switch, normally you would able to get yourselves the best performance, much like on the TV mode. But as I said this before, if you ever play Bowser's Fury mode on handheld mode or tabletop mode, unfortunately though, we get ourselves a lower frame rate, which is 30 frames per second, which I'm alright with. But if you ever play on the TV mode, it might actually be locked on 60 frames per second, which I have no idea why, because it did seem to run just fine on Super Mario Odyssey, both on tabletop mode, handheld mode, and TV mode all in one. But I just have no idea why. They just managed to able to downgrade the actual frames per second kind of thing in terms of Bowser's Fury in two different modes, well, one exception being the TV mode. And as for the most part for Super Mario 3D World, it runs perfectly in 3 different ways to play, mainly on TV mode and tabletop mode, and to top it off, handheld mode. So yeah, I'm very respectful for that specific solutions about the forms of how great the frame rate is on Super Mario 3D World. I mean, it plays exactly like the Wii U version, except, well, I've noticed something that's quite different compared to the Wii U version of Super Mario 3D World in general, is that, well, much like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Switch and the Wii U, normally because of how the fact that you're able to actually get a lot of usage on the forms of touchscreen obstacles, alongside with the forms of blow the microphone platforms, but somehow in the forms of the Switch versions in between Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, usually it came out in 2018, mind you, on the Switch version, along with the 3DS version, but normally on the forms of the Switch version on Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, that those elements has been removed, but at least you're able to actually access to the pointer to able to actually activate those touch obstacles. So, and I think this also same applies to Super Mario 3D World on the Switch somehow. I mean, usually the only difference is now is the fact that, usually normally speaking, is the fact that in one of those levels in, well, let's just say in World 2-2, normally you have to utilize the forms of a touch kind of stuff, here and there, originally on the Wii U version, but, that's not the case on the Switch version, although you still do, but you would able to actually, luckily, get yourselves a pointer function, you know, similar to the, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the Switch version specifically. So, yeah, that seems not too bad. And also that we're able to actually no longer trying to able to worry about constantly blowing the microphone platform, unlike the Wii U version that you do have to do that. Which seems pretty obvious because the Nintendo Switch has been, well, it does feel a little bit lacking when it comes to forms of access to microphone and stuff like that, which I'm fine with, because either way though, normally on my Nintendo Switch I can just simply display whatever I wanted to, so yeah, it seems kind of obvious for that specific stuff, so even then though, yeah, relatively speaking, it's exactly a similar situation as in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the Switch. So, but either way though, oh hello, we got ourselves 3 hearts, 3 up hearts, so pretty awesome. Especially noticeable, we actually got ourselves about 41 up so far, so I think we actually got got quite enough of those extra lives as it goes by, so I think we should probably hold it up for that point. So, and also another thing is the fact that recently I managed to watch some of those Star Wars films again. Like, usually all 9 films, including 2 ethnology kind of series, or mythology series, or something like that. It's hard to explain, because either way though, it has been a while since I actually watched Star Wars and stuff like that. But I enjoy most of them though, but the only ones I'm not terribly fond of is, well, usually I do like some of them, but there's one film I think is probably the weakest of the bunch. It will probably have to be by the forms of Attack of the Clones, just because of the forms of repetitive structure or something like that. I know everyone else has their own opinions as well, but either way though, this is in my opinion, so... But anyway, enough about that. So I think we're almost nearly at the end of this stage, so even then though, and it looks like so far, out of... Oh, jeez Louise, I wasn't paying attention to that specific jump. But luckily, if we manage to hit that block, then we get ourselves a garlic power-up, so just in case it would able to help us out. Especially, we go on to the forms of the next boss fight, which appears to be some sort of like a ghost. But, by the way, his name was Zini Zikai, which is a bit of a weird name for a ghost, but either way though. By the way, if you do dare get touched by the forms of Zingiza, which I apologize for that mispronunciation for that boss's name, you will get stunned for a few seconds, so you have to watch out for that. So basically what you have to do in this fight is the fact that you know these ghost-like enemies I just grabbed? Well, basically just toss it right back at him, and if you do it 3 times, then that's the entire fight. So, not that difficult, but the only thing that makes things a bit tricky and difficult is the fact that how unpredictable some of these ghost-like enemies can pop up from time to time. So, I think just for fun, let's go ahead and deal with the bonus game for the final time. And because of that though, by that time we pretty much guarantee we can able to reach to the end game basically. So, but either way though, specifically on this first day. So even then though, and yes, we'll definitely go ahead and say this right now, we'll definitely finish this Let's Play up during at some point on this first day. So even then though, and I hope you guys do looking forward to this particular, the first ever Let's Play in terms of the Wario Land series of Let's Plays. Well, to be more specifically, the one that started it all. And, oh, do I get something? Oh, nice. So I think I'm pretty much maxed out, so I think I've got about 999 coins by this point. And I think that will definitely get up to the forms of, well, 10,000 coins now. So even then though, yeah, it looks like I think we should probably stop playing the gamble kind of 50-50 chance bonus game now. Because, relatively speaking, I think we actually got enough, well, coins as it is for this point right now. Because, well, as for this point, that, we're actually getting very close towards the end of this Let's Play now. So, yeah, that's how it usually goes, basically. So, yeah. Again, sometimes the coin counter takes forever. I kind of wish there was actually a skip button, so that way I can able to skip this entire ordeal. But it knows what it is. So, there we go. Parsley Woods is being completed. And here we go on to the final world in the game, which is Syrup Castle. So I think we should probably end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. Is that we are heading off to the final world in this game, which is, of course, as you can see on screen, Syrup Castle. So I'll see you guys until on Thursday. Later, fellas.